we've looked at two elements of clarity: what I want and what I'm going to do, and two, timeline. Let's have a look at the other two elements. Be clear on the prices required and be clear on why it's important. Now, you can have clarity at two levels: at a superficial intellectual level or at a deeply internalized level. The first parameter is clarity on the pros of a decision or the benefits you get. This is the why of a decision. The second parameter is clarity on the cons of a decision, the prices we need to pay. This is what we need to do to get what we want. Now, if somebody has a low level of clarity on both these parameters, there is a word they use, and that word is I should. You hear people saying things like, I should exercise, or I should eat healthy, or I shouldn't lose my temper. If you hear somebody say something like, I should go to the gym this evening, the other thing is that they don't have a deep level of clarity. Because if they were clear, they wouldn't say, I should go to the gym. They'd say, I'm going to the gym this evening. When they say, I should go, what they're really saying is, intellectually, I know it makes sense for me to go to the gym. But that clarity isn't so deep that I can be sure that I'll actually go to the gym. Now, if someone doesn't do the things they think they should do, or they do the things that they think they shouldn't do, then they'll end up feeling the emotion of guilt. If they keep doing this, I should eat healthy, I should exercise, but they never actually do it, then one day there will be consequences. They go to the doctor and find that their sugar levels are off the charts, or their blood pressure is high. Then they start having roti with no ghee on it, struggle on the treadmill. And when they look at the past, they'll say, I should have, and feel the emotion of regret. But at that moment, they use the words, I have to. I have to avoid sweet foods, or I have to exercise. Anytime you use these sort of words, I have to work with a difficult client. I have to wake up in the middle of the night to feed baby. I have to deal with mobile traffic. You start feeling the emotion of pressure. And of course, it's not true. There are no afters in life. So why do we say we have to do something when we actually choose to do it? It's because we forgot why we're doing it. We went here on the prices of running on a gym because we're actually paying them, spectating and exhausted. But we've forgotten why. It's not that I have to exercise. I choose to exercise because I want to be fit and healthy. When you forget the why, that's when you start feeling the emotion of pressure, compulsion, and stress. Now, on the other side, there are occasions when we are very clear of why we want something, but we haven't identified the prices we need to pay to make it happen. So, for example, I want to leave office every day at 6 p.m. because I want to spend time with my 5-year-old daughter. Here the why is very clear. I love my daughter. But the prices haven't been identified and accepted. So we end up saying the word, I can't. I want to leave every day at 6 p.m., but I can't. Again, it's not true, because there are people who do leave at 6 p.m., but there are prices that need to be paid. You might need to ask your boss if it's possible not to have meetings that start after 4 p.m., and then he or she might think you're not prioritizing your work and give the promotion to someone else. It's a possible price. Or you might need to delegate to your team and they might make mistakes. That's a possible price. You might need to invest 2 days in a time management workshop, but you've got all those pending emails. So people end up saying things like, I can't say no, or I'm unable to stop myself from losing my temper. See, if you said, I can't fly, we wouldn't dispute that. But in many cases, people say I can't because it allows them to stay in their comfort zone and not pay the prices they need to get what they want in their life. These words tell you when you don't have clarity. I should or I'm supposed to, I must or I have to, I can't or I'm unable to or I couldn't. But when it's clear, you look at the pros and cons of making a choice. If the benefits are more than the prices, then you don't say, I should, I can't, I have to. You say, I will. If the prices of making a choice are more than the benefits, then you say, I. That's clarity. You end up saying, I want this, so this is what I need. I don't want this, so this is what I cannot do. Now, why do we use words like I should, I have to, I can't? It's because we taught to as children. When my 3-year-old is about to stick a finger in the electricity socket, I don't give a lecture on the dangers of electricity. I just say, you can't touch this, for their state. So growing up, we're programmed by rules from parents and society to keep us safe. You have to study for your exam. You can't stay out later than 10 p.m. with your friends. You should say thank you to Nadine when she buys you gift. And these rules are fine to have as children. But when you're a fully grown adult moving towards leadership, when the only phrase you use are I will, or I won't, or I haven't decided yet. Now, it may seem like we're focusing a lot on specific phrases, and you might think that they are just words. Maybe. But let us offer you the perspective to consider that the words we use are not accidents, but reflect something about the way we think. And we're not for a second suggesting that these are rules about words that you should use. We use these words all the time in our regular conversations. You should have seen the expression on our face. You can't be serious. You have to see that movie. Not only that, but there's also no law that says you need to have clarity on every single thing in your life. Do you like that book? I guess. You don't have to make up your mind on that question. It's not important enough to require that you're clear on the answer. It might actually be stressful and counterproductive to think you do need to have clarity on everything. Not all those who wonder are lost. But if you find yourself using these phrases in areas that are important to you, then you might want to pay attention and think through the matter more deeply till you have clarity on those areas. Here's a formula for you that captures the statement of clarity. I want A, so I will do B. By times C. I'm willing to pay price D because what is really important to me is E. When the ancient rishis of India invented yoga, they didn't do it to tie their body up in knots. It was because they believed that mastery of their bodies was a pathway to mastery of the mind. And the mastery of the mind was a pathway to mastery of life. So what we're suggesting is not so much about a set of rules for what words to use or not to use, but a practice of linguistic yoga that you could experiment with to see if it holds any value for you. Have fun.